Alright, hello all. Welcome back to the Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video here. So we do have a pretty decent sized data download here. And we got several new characters. Now, this banner, I believe, is probably coming out next week sometime. In fact, actually, we'll be able to tell because it'll say the exact time they come out on the when I look at the actual card. So obviously we have the Peppy Gals here, two new characters, Videl and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know who that person is. I imagine it's probably someone from like actual OG Dragon Ball, and I just haven't gotten to that part yet. And then we have the EZA for Fasha as well as CHEELAI. Now, CHEELAI back in the day she was busted. So hopefully they can recreate that here. They did also mention, I'm just actually now recalling, they mentioned something about new equipment coming for the Popo event. If I had to guess, it's probably for that tech Gohan? Yes, it is. Okay, so he has... yeah. He has the same sort of equips that they've been given from the Popo event, right? I might get to him here. I might do a separate thing for him. I don't know. I mean, his calcs took a while before, if I'm being honest. So we'll see. But this is obviously, we're gonna break down the new Peppy Gals, and we'll get to the defense calcs. I might slip Gohan into this video. I might just give him a short video for his own calcs. We'll see. But either way, let's get going here and let's see what we got. So we're gonna start with Videl. Now I imagine this is probably her from the tournament, the world tournament at the start of the Majin Buu saga, because we did literally just get that Spopovich banner unit that looked like, I mean, it's from like his fight against Videl, and he has all of his conditions up against what should be a Videl character, although we didn't actually have a Videl that fit all three categories before, which it was, I think, Earthlings, Peppy Gals tournament participants. So we'll see what we got here. So Peppy Gals category or Super AGL type key 3, 120% the stats. Really? Massively raises defense for 3 turns, huh? Supreme damage to enemy. Massively raises. That's really interesting. Okay, so if she has additionals at all, like that is busted. And depending on what she has in her kit, like even without additionals, that could be really good. So I find that really interesting. Let's see what we got here. Basic effects: key 2, 200% attack and defense. She's getting 30% damage reduction. Randomly changes key spheres of a certain type, AGL excluded, to rainbow key spheres. Key 3, an attack and defense 70% up for all allies whose name includes Gohan Teen, Ultimate Gohan, Majin Buu excluded, or Great Saiyaman other than Gohan excluded. Okay, interesting. How do they even? Isn't he like Great Saiyaman 1? So why don't they just say Great Saiyaman other than 1 excluded? I mean, I don't. Interesting, because I'm thinking of like the card, the free to play LR from the friend summon, like that, the double Great Saiyaman, Gohan and Videl. Like does it specify they're Gohan and Videl? I think it just says Great Saiyaman 1 and 2. So I mean, how would that work, for example? I don't know. That'd be interesting to see. When attacking with 12 or more key, 200% attack and defense. Okay. When there is another Peppy Gals category ally in the same turn, or when there's an ally whose name includes Gohan Teen, Ultimate Gohan. Okay, yeah, we got that. Attacking in the same turn. Damage reduction rate 50% up before attacking. So she has 80% damage reduction before attacking. That's pretty interesting. And then she gets 300% attack when attacking. Okay. Now, by the way, I mean, you do, I don't know. It's a little weird, because she's not going to be youth. The new LR leads Defenders of Justice, so she should at least, I imagine. Yeah, she's on the new LR's leader skill, the Gohan Goten Trunks. So she could be actually a really good support, I suppose, if you're just going for like the Gohan lineup instead of Goten and Trunks. Because it does sort of feel like, I don't know, in my experience of the card, it does feel like Gohan and Goten and Trunks are just like vastly different characters. Like it doesn't, I don't know. I mean, I suppose, you have like the defensive form or the offensive form with some of the other tag characters, but them specifically, they feel, I don't know what it is. They feel off to me. Maybe I'm just seeing too much into it, but it almost feels like two different cards combined into one, sort of, if that makes any sense, because it's just one has like no restrictions and the other is like full of them. Although Goten and Trunks are insane, it's just a little weird. Okay, but for 3 turns from the character's entry turn, she's getting 200% defense, high chance to perform a critical hit, and oh wait, I actually passed the line. Hold on, I'll finish this one. Launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack. That's really good for our SA effect. For every turn pass, yeah, I was damage reduction rate 10% down, no more than minus 30%. Now, how is this going to work? Actually, is the big thing. Is this going to be 10% down per appearance, or is it going to be 10% with every turn pass? It says every turn pass, so you might only have like the full buff for 1 turn. That's kind of, I don't like that. And then for 3 turns from character's entry turn. Okay, when the character is KO'd starting from the 4th turn from character's entry turn, revives with HP fully recovered. She has a fucking revive? What the hell? A Peppy Gal, like banner unit level character has a fucking revive? What? Okay, that's really interesting. After the character's revival skill is activated, attack and defense 200% up, damage reduction rate 30% up, forms a critical hit, and launches a guaranteed additional super attack, huh? Interesting. I mean, a revive is actually very insane. Especially because it's a full HP recovery revive, by the way. Okay, what is her... Yeah, see, that's the thing with these, like, Peppy Gal characters. They just don't have, like, the raw stats. Okay, so she's getting 200%. 200% phase 2. 200% phase 1 for 3 turns. She gets 200% phase 2 here, but I don't think she has enough stats, honestly. Like, this is actually a pretty decent kit if you had it for, like, a Dokkan Fest exclusive or even, like, an LR character, but I don't think she's going to be good enough because she probably just doesn't have the stats. I guess we'll see, but I don't think she's going to be good enough. But, I mean, I like her. Her kit seems good. It just, we'll see. I mean, obviously, I'm only going to be able to tell from the calcs themselves, but, something to note with her, I mean, I suppose, like, Cold Judgment. You might have Cold Judgment. Her Link partners. I mean, like, Tech Gohan, if you're using him, for example. Although, I don't know. You cannot get away with him in any of these fights. I'd have to wager. But, maybe, like, Shattering the Limit. I don't know, because her Link set is not the best. We'll see. We'll see when we get to the calcs for her. I think she might have something to her, but I just think her stats are probably kind of low. Okay, so this is Ranfan. Okay. Peppy Gals category or super tech type key 3 HP attack and defense 120% up. Raises attack and defense for 1 turn. Supreme damage to enemy. And then raises allies attack and defense by 30% for 2 turns. Now, that being an SA phase is really, really good. if they're actually trying to build up the Peppy Gal team, although I never believe it. They always, I mean, they drop a decent bit of characters with the celebration, but then they never like fully commit, and it's like, do they even actually have like a 200% Peppy Gals other than Master Boshi? Like, I don't know that there is. So that's a good SA effect though. I mean, if she has additionals, it could be good. Let's see. Attack and defense 200% up. Chance of evading enemy attack 40% up. And then all allies get key 1, 40% defense, plus an additional key 1 in defense 30% up for characters who belong to the Peppy Gals category. Okay. I mean, that's 70% phase 1 support. That's actually pretty decent. Okay. When attacking, 200% attack and defense up. And then attack and defense 50% up to 200%. And chance of evading enemy attack and damage reduction rate 10% up to 40%. Per Peppy Gal category ally on the team. That's not good. Because right now we have a lot of AoE content. And to be fair, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to rate. Some of these like a Peppy Gal banner character. It's hard to rate because it's like I really don't expect them to be able to really fully compete in the best of the hardest, most whatever content. But I mean, it is a new character that technically they expect you to pay for. Like it's kind of like I don't really expect them to be able to compete, but at the same time, it's like shouldn't they be able to? It's I don't know. Maybe I'm over judging this. I mean, in content that's not AoE, she should be actually really really good so far. 80% dodge with 40% damage reduction, but it's just I don't. Her Peppy Gal category ally on the team. You're not running full Peppy Gals, Okay. After receiving or evading an attack, all allies attack 20% up. Peppy Gals category allies excluded, and then Peppy Gals category allies get 20% attack for 2 turns. Okay. Although, I mean, if she's like a... Well, I guess, once again, if it's like a Peppy Gal team, the next rotation would get this buff. Or even if you have like slot 2, your third character would get this buff. I don't know. When facing only one enemy, attacked enemies attack defense 30% down for 2 turns. Great chance of stunning the attacked enemy for 2 turns. Great chance of sealing the attacked enemy for 2 turns. What the hell? So if you're fighting an enemy that can be debuffed, one enemy... Okay. That's actually pretty good. Interesting. Because it's not even... Usually when it's like passive stuff, they have it for like 1 turn. But it's all 2 turns. Okay. And then when the target enemy is in the following status, attack down, defense down, stunned, or sealed, which is all covered here, she gets an additional super attack. Okay, once again, this looks like a pretty good kit overall, but 9,000, But yeah, she's definitely OG Dragon Ball, so I was right about that. Okay, and then it's the 18th, 12 a.m. is when she releases, or when they release, I suppose. Okay, so far, I don't think they really have the stats, but the kits, maybe they could. I mean, if they're planning on the next Dokkan Fest TUR, although, that begs the question. I mean, we are rapidly approaching, the Tanabata replacement celebration. Honestly, I mean, we could be in it in the next 2 weeks, honestly, because 2 weeks is 14 days from now. It's the 15th that I have this being recorded, obviously. It very well could be starting, or at least be we're in the countdown or something in 2 weeks. So I mean, this is just JP players are gonna have to get used to how global players. I mean, it was. Whew. I mean, it's a fun time of the year to be a global player, but certainly back to back to back to back, like it could get pretty rough for the Stones. So obviously I don't even have enough for a full rotation. I'm up to 60 some odd Stones now. I'm starting to save again. I'm thinking Namek, ROF, Daima, but we'll see. Okay, but point being, if the Dokkan Fest TUR after the Tanabata replacement celebration is where I was getting to there, is a Peppy Gal leader, and say like a Khalifa Dokkan Fest, and she leads Peppy Gals and like a Yellow Coin LR, that's just like straight up Berserk Kale or something. Maybe, because that'd be even more Universe 6 buffs, right? If they want to keep buffing that team. Something like that could be really good. But, I don't know. I don't really, well, I hope they get buffed, but I want to anticipate it. Okay, let's see what the Easy A's have. I'm really excited for CHEELAI. Fasha, I think she needs to get hit. And then she has, like, turn limited, like, guard and stuff. It's been a while since I've read her kit, so I don't really expect the most from her. Low Class Warrior or Peppy Gals, category key 3, HP attack and defense 150% up. She's getting greatly raised attack and defense for 1 turn, supreme damage with a high chance of stunning, pretty good. Basic effects, attack and defense 200% up, 50% damage reduction, okay. Launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super. That's at least the good wording. So, I mean, you have a better chance of getting the hit potential this way, so I'm fine with that. For 5 turns from the character's entry turn, she's getting guard. So, like I said, she has the turn limited guard. I mean, she does have 50% damage reduction. I don't remember if she had that before. Starting from the 6th turn from the character's entry turn, she gets an additional super with a great chance of critting. So, when her guard wears off, she gets that. Interesting. For every attack received, she's getting 40% attack up, 200%. So 5 hits total, huh? When another 2 or more low-class warrior, get that shit out of here. Categories are on the team, or when there are another 2 or more Peppy Gals. That's honestly better. On the team, attack and defense 40% up whenever guard is activated. That's actually kind of shit. This is actually kind of shit. Because if you just like get unlucky, like unless you're putting her in slot 1, where you could pretty much guarantee the attacks are most of the time. I mean, if you ever like slot 2, slot 3, and she just doesn't get hit, if you could end up not getting the full build up on this ability, which I think is really shit. I don't know. I mean, what is her stat? 11,419. I mean, that's certainly better. Certainly better. I mean, she only has 200% though, and then another 400% phase 2. I don't think she has enough stats. Ironically, on her case, I think it's more so her passive doesn't have enough stats. Like her raw defensive stat is actually fine. I mean, it could be better, but it's actually it's decent. So for at least like a TUR, I mean, she is greatly raising. I guess she has the additional. She keeps the damage reduction. Maybe she could have something. I don't know. At the end of the day, I think probably like the new Peppy Gal event stages are probably going to have Peppy Gal associated missions. So at least she could probably be a good help for something like that. But I don't know. It just the power creep is moving so fast. It's hard to align my my expectations for a character. It's just like rapidly, even within the celebration. We've had so much hard content. And to be fair, they have stated that they want different content for different characters to be stronger and weaker against, right? So I also have to take that into account, but it just makes things a little tough to rate out the gate. I don't know. We'll see. And then finally, CHEELAI, she better be God. I mean, she was God back in the day. Support, she had a scouter, the dodge. Like, CHEELAI was insane. So, Bond of Friendship, category key 3, 150% of stats. She's massively raising defense for 1 turn. Frame damage to enemy. Guaranteed seal super attack with a high chance of stunning. Pretty good. I prefer getting some attack and defense lower in there, but, you know, it's pretty good. Oh, real quick, actually, she actually had a gimmick where she had all those, because when she released, it was, what, 2022? Her sort of gimmick, because her kit was, like, so overloaded, was she did, like, no attack. She had, like, no attack in her kit, so I imagine they'll do the same thing here. We'll see, though. I mean, releasing a character with no attack in 2025, that's a bold decision. Back then, I was fine with it, but right now, I mean, it's just... Bosses have so much defense. They have so much HP. Even having one character that literally does 0 damage, unless she's a god defensively, I don't know. So, basic effects, key 3, defense, 339%, yep. Foresees enemy super attack. She gets the randomly changes key spheres of a certain type of rainbow key spheres. Great chance of dodging. And then all allies get key 3, attack and defense 39% up. And chance for a critical hit, 20% up, self-excluded. Okay. For every attack evaded, defense 139% up within the turn? Really? That's interesting. Okay. I mean, if she's dodging a lot, you know, she could get to god levels of defense. That's interesting. Every time the character evades 3 attacks in battle, she gets recovers 39% HP at the end of the turn, up to 3 times. After evading 6 or more attacks in battle, all allies attack and defense 39% up for 3 turns, self-excluded. Okay. When receiving a normal attack defense, 139% up temporarily. Okay, so that's interesting. Why does she get that? Okay, hold on. When receiving a super attack, chance of evading enemy attack 10% up temporarily. So she has 80% dodge. See, I think this would actually be a pretty interesting buff if this was within the turn, but it's only for the 1 normal. I suppose maybe it's meant for if she's in like slot 2 or 3 and she receives an AoE. That's probably actually what it's meant for. And she like fails the dodge to give you a sort of failsafe. Because if it like imagine if it was within the turn, when it says when receiving a normal attack. So how that would work, if you dodged it, you'd get the 139% from this and the 139% from this, because it's when receiving, not after received, right? So you could technically, if it was within the turn, have 2 instances of 139% from a normal, but it is just temporarily, so it's only for that single normal attack. So I suppose it's like an AoE safeguard is what it's meant to be. Okay, I'm fine with that. And especially because she has the foresees enemy super attack. That's actually... She has the 80% dodge. Yeah, I think she looks pretty good. I don't know if she's going to be as good as she was back then. I mean, like I said, attack is just so important nowadays. But she looks really good, honestly. Okay, and 12,379. Yeah. Okay. She might have something too. I mean, the attack. That's pretty rough to miss out on, but she actually, I mean, these numbers are pretty high. She honestly has the potential to be probably one of, if not the best defensive character on Peppy Gals. Okay. Alright, well, with that being said, I mean, there are 4 characters there. I'm not too sure about most of this batch here. I think CHEELAI actually looks pretty decent. Videl, Ranfan, maybe. I don't really like Fasha. But I guess we'll see. I'm going to cut away here. I'm going to get to the calcs. I'll probably give Gohan like a separate, just real quick video for him, and get around to that later on. Because I just, with 4 characters to go, I mean, I don't want the video to be too long, so I'll probably give him his own separate shorter one. But yeah, we'll cut away. All right, so we are back here. It took me a little bit to get to doing all these. I had some other stuff I had to do. My apologies for the wait. Definitely getting this out a lot later than the data download. However, they are in fact all done, so I suppose that is what matters at the end of the day. And I think I have decided I am just going to do Gohan like his own separate thing, so I'll get around to that right after I'm done with this, I suppose. I think those equipments will be a significant buff for him, by the way. So I mean, we'll see exactly what they do, what they don't do, but I think he's going to look very, very crazy with this. So I'm pretty excited to see that. I mean, it's only 1200, but still. But as for our Peppy Gals here, Easy A CHEELAI, Easy A Fasha, the new Ranfan, and the new Videl, I do have those calcs done. So let's get into this here. Here we go. Because I still have Gohans from before up here. Because I do need to I figure it's easier to do if I already have it set up. I like to save them with these big celebrations to do like the calcs later on if there's going to be equips or any sort of something like that. So I'll just use this sort of that I have already and have like parentheses with the new numbers, and that should be very easy to tell how big of a buff the equips give them. But anyway, starting with our actual batch here, we do have Videl, and I will say honestly, she's actually higher than I thought she would. In all like I did not give her enough credit before. I think she's actually pretty good. And to be fair though, it is a little limited. The thing with Videl, it's this revive, it's when the character is KO'd from starting from the 4th turn from the character's entry turn. She has to be the one that dies. Now, to be fair, in newer content, I don't think that's going to be the most difficult to happen, but it is worth noting that she specifically is the one that needs to die. Similar to Int Boo or like Metal Cooler, right? Something like that. It has to be her. But I mean, this is just this is the first turn, right? We do have, presuming you get 3 stacks, turn 3, and then we go down here. Now this is one she has no turn 3 buff, but she also hasn't died. So I think it will honestly be pretty easy to get her killed, but if you don't, she is going to be pretty weak. And then after her revive buff, I mean, she just gets higher start of turn, and she's a little bit higher like post super as well. So I mean, she's actually very, very good. And you also, I mean, if you get like any phase 1 support, I mean, look at this, is 40% that makes this big of a difference, because she only has 200% after this wears off, while having a lot of other phase 2 stats, right? And the SA phase. So she's actually very, very good. Next we do have Ranfan. I don't know. I mean, she's like a decent support. If you're not in an AoE fight, she should be pretty good. If you are in an AoE fight, I'd say don't bring her. I mean, when she has her 80% chance to dodge with 40% damage reduction, and she can lower enemy stats, this is decent. But if those scenarios, plus, I mean, not only her phase 1 support, but this is actually very crazy. Especially, once again, if you have this active, it does a lot, because you got to think, if you get a 3 super turn, that's a 90% SA phase buff to the next rotation. And especially if it's not stacking characters, I mean, that's quite a lot. So she can be good in situations. She's not bad, but I don't know how much use you'll get out of it, right? I suppose maybe that's the best way to phrase it. Because it's like hyper-specific scenarios. There's a lot of AoE fights. I mean, we'll see what these new because I guarantee you're gonna need like some Peppy Gal bullshit mission for the new Peppy Gal fights coming in. I really don't like that event if it's designed in the same way they were before, but we'll see how it goes, you know. So next we do actually have Easy A Fasha, and you know, I was a little iffy on the breakdown portion. I think you could tell she's just not good. Like, it's not enough. This is not enough, right? I don't know what they were thinking with her. I remember she was kind of decent when she came out, unless I could be misremembering, I guess, but I thought she was kind of decent when she came out, but this is not. She sucks. I don't know. I suppose I'm looking at this all from like new content sort of angle, and I even like Ranfan and Videl are not going to have the best time in the brand newest content, but they should dominate pretty much everything like pre-GDC, as long as, you know, like Ranfan, for example, can get her dodges in. I think it's actually pretty decent, right? So I'm happy with Ranfan and Videl. Fasha, just pretty bad. And now we get to the GOAT. CHEELAI is, and to be fair, I don't know if it's necessarily as broken as she was in the past, but CHEELAI, and my calcs only have Shattering the Limit for her, which you can technically have like Brainiacs 15%, Cold Judgment 25%. I knew Frieza's Army 25. Who the fuck actually is even on this? Hold on. Who the is it, like a sorbet card or something? Oh, yeah. Oh, god damn. That's nope. Maybe if we get like a new Golden Frieza with a banner unit sorbet, but otherwise, nope. But she has access to a lot of links, but I only have Shattering the Limit active. I just want to point that out. And she gets very, very crazy. Now, I suppose for both Fasha and for CHEELAI, although it's less of an issue for Fasha. I think Fasha has, I think she has a couple of 200%. I don't think it's just Roshi for her. I think she might have one other. I'm not fully confident. But CHEELAI literally only has Master Roshi. Now, are you running double Master Roshi? I kind of doubt it. However, you know, like I was saying before, if the celebration after the Tanabata replacement celebration is something Peppy Gal related, like, you know, I threw out some sort of Khalifa, you know, like a Super Saiyan 1 Khalifa, and she transforms into Super Saiyan 2, you know, she has like a new Kaba banner unit, and let's stay help like Universe 6 more, right? And then we have like a just straight up Berserk Kale, you know, LR. Something like that for like a Yellow Coin LR, maybe could make Peppy Gal a real team. But I don't know. CHEELAI can be a lot better. She also is probably not going to look entirely like this in-game because you're probably not running her on Roshi. But if you look at these numbers, I mean, 10 million defense. 10 million. Now, I mean, this is with getting an additional, right? But still, the fact that she will have 80% chance to dodge versus supers and can get very, very competent defensively, depending on like the scenario. Like she is crazy. I don't know. Like this is wild. You know, I did want to include 7 attacks. I feel like it's a pretty decent amount. Technically you could see more. I also think it's probably like you're going to see less often, but I figured this was a pretty good amount to show. And then I also thought, okay, we'll show slot 2-3 dodges. And I did account for there's not going to be as much attacks at the end. But she still obviously looks very, very good. So I'm very happy with her. I think they cooked. with CHEELAI. I think Videl and Ranfan seem decent, and Fasha is just she's not it. But we really need to see a new Peppy Gal leader, and it has to be a 220 that hits like all of them. You know, we need something. I don't know what specifically. Like I threw out Khalifa. It could be a fucking Brienne. But whatever it is, it just needs to be straight up Peppy Gals, 220%. Right? Don't worry about all the fucking secondary categories, because the Peppy Gals team is made up of characters from all the eras of Dragon Ball. It's just a shitty idea to do it that way. It needs to be like your Glorio, or like your Roshi, where it's just straight up that huge buff to the one category, and then it could actually have a chance of being a real team. But we need to see if and when that happens. I feel like Dokkan over time has gotten better and better about it, but I've played the game for a long time, so I've had a lot of experience with waiting on buffs to come that never come. So we'll see, but this has the makings of potentially a really good team soon. But we need to see what they give the team, right? But there we go. We'll end this one here. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Take care.